Look around. Young people with mindless movements, glazed-eyed looks, and matching appearances are everywhere. How close are we to becoming creatures we mock for their lack of identity? Same brands of clothes and shoes, identical opinions on what happens in the news, matching trends of people on the other side of the world? This is all because of how we choose to view individualism. Today's youth, the people born during the 21st century, face a world immersed in technology, and our media has not trailed too far behind. With nothing more than a few quick taps, we can create another version of ourselves on a platform that connects us with the world, faster and more efficiently than ever before. Social media. Naturally, what we have access to on social media is affecting us. Endless pictures of flawless models wearing only the best brands makes us want to look the same as them. This is the issue that young people today are facing: loss of individuality. Individuality has not always been lacking in young people. Millennials are the people born in any time between 1981 to about 2000. According to Dr. Jane M. Twenge, professor of psychology at San Diego State University, teenage millennials were generally more accepting of gender equality, racial equality, and equality based on sexual orientation, compared to the generations of young people that came before them. This is an important point because it indicates that these young people were breaking traditional rules of society. This generation of young people were the ones who couldn't wait to get their driver's license and end their dependence on their parents. So a conclusion can be drawn that they wanted individuality. However, the unnamed generation born after 2000, dubbed iGens for their connection with technology, does not appear to continue this trend of individualism. With today's youth, individualism is not as popular. While the millennials our age were rushing to get their driver's license, teenagers today do not seem as eager. If getting a driver's license represents independence from our parents, we don't seem to want it. Similarly, there has been a steady decline in the amount of people who leave their home to hang out with friends. 12th graders in 2015 were going out less than 8th graders did in 2009. Instead, we stay at home with our phones and tablets, exploring the digital world. What do we find there? What could possibly be more alluring than the charm of being free from our parents? Social media seems to be the answer. As we spend more time on social media, our desire to be individual seems to lessen. Specifically, what is it that makes us lose our individuality on social media? There is a strong link between self-esteem and individualism, and social media is affecting our self-esteem. According to DoSomething.com, self-esteem is a thinking disorder in which an individual views himself or herself as inadequate, unlovable, and/or incompetent. Social media is a filtered glimpse at reality. On social media, sites, pictures, and comments posted are often edited, altered, and rewritten to match the identity of whoever the user wants to pretend to be. When everyone is hiding behind their screens, a new world is born. A perfect world that is not what the real world looks like. The dangers of being exposed to this world are only strengthened by the fact that the images shown are very consistent and repetitive. When we see something too many times, it starts sinking in. In psychology, this is explained as the mere exposure effect, or the familiarity principle, when people develop a preference for something just because it is familiar. Why are they all wearing that brand? Is it cool? Now that you say so, it does look pretty good. Slowly, our confidence ebbs away. When a person does not have enough confidence in the person that they are, they will naturally try to find a way to fit in, and individuality is lost. Similarly, there is also a connection between our lifestyles and our need for individuality. Adam Alter, an associate professor at New York University's Stern School of Business, claims that there is a connection between the use of personal time and individuality. According to Alter, the white space where we're not doing anything like eating, sleeping, or working is personal time. He believes that this is a time where we build our personalities and personal preferences. However, in today's world, this is where we access social media. On social media, where we are force-fed distorted images of the world, we are pressured to look and think like everyone else. This is not helping us. The thoughts that we are left with after using too much social media are not our own thoughts. Although some may argue that all opinions are in some way based upon the thoughts of other people around us, such as colleagues and family members, individuality is different ways in which each person chooses to interpret the information they receive. And the defining difference is that individualism includes choice. When young people, described by researchers from Amity University of India, as vulnerable to advertising because they lack the experience and knowledge to understand and evaluate critically the purpose of persuasive advertising appeals, are put in a situation where they are repeatedly shown the same images without realizing it, they subconsciously interpret the information as something they like. They did not consciously make the decision to like that thing. To solve the issue of young people losing their individuality, people have to find out what is causing the problem and change it. All in all, loss of individuality can be traced back to social media and how it pressures us by constantly showing us the same unrealistic images of the world. The key word in this statement is constantly. Interestingly, studies have shown that the time we spend on apps like Facebook and Twitter don't actually improve our mood. Instead, Alter suggests that we only spend so much time on these sites because they have been designed without stopping cues. Unlike the end of a TV show episode, book chapter, or newspaper, social media is constantly being updated, so there is no hint to stop using it. This is the source of the problem. To solve the issue, we have to add more stopping cues on social media. There needs to be reminders for users to step out of the digital world, and go outside every once in a while. In some cases, there also needs to be more than reminders. An example of this would be an app or phone that completely shuts down regularly to force the user to take a break or simply limit the amount of posts a person can access per day. These are simple solutions to a complicated issue. Lack of individuality is a serious issue in the 21st century. Individuality is what inspired the greatest thoughts and inventions in history, and it is also what sets us apart from each other. It must be preserved, and at this point, this can only be done with technology.